All right, guys, I'm back with another video. So, I'm coming from Whitestone, which is considered a part of Queens, and I'm going to the Bronx, just getting out of this parking spot. There's no updates to FSD, but I did get the most recent software update, which is software boom is 26.20. Release notes doesn't really tell me much, so I'm not sure what it may have really changed, because the release notes are just like old release notes, the same release notes from some of the other updates. I don't really see anything. Maybe they'll somebody else will be able to point it out or fill me in, because I don't see any real differences. Let's just go check it out, because I said that before one time and then there was differences. But all right, let's see. Release notes.
You are exceeding the speed.
So it says dash cam clip encryption, but I feel like that was there before. Parental controls. Let's see. You can now block browser, theater, arcade from Tesla by going to controls. Okay. Security. This update includes some important security fixes. Let's see what that. Can't even tap on that. But yeah, pet mode, the trip data, all that stuff. That's from previous updates, so not sure what the like I said, what the difference is. But I'm gonna do a drive and see. It's 37 minutes, so we should be fine. And just go from there, see how things go. Today's the Knicks game. I know all you Knicks fans out there are hype. We'll see if the Knicks can get it done. I have a weird relationship with the Knicks. I wanna like the Knicks, but I can't stand James Dolan. Can't stand the Knicks fans. A lot of the Knicks fans are crazy. But I do or would like to root for them, but I just can't. So, but I do watch the games because I just like good basketball. That first game was definitely a pretty good game. I do feel like the finals was the OKC versus Spurs, but this still is a good series. I don't know if it's going to be as good. One thing I'll say is I noticed in game one there was no real flopping, which we were used to seeing with SGA and OKC. There was a ton of flopping from OKC in general. So, but I'm glad that there was not a lot of flopping. I thought Brunson was going to be doing a lot of flopping. He did a little bit, but nothing like as egregious as like SGA does. And that's the thing with Brunson. His flopping it's more calculated. It's more sneaky versus SGA, because he knows he gets away with it. He just is blatant with his push-offs, blatant with his flailing. He's just blatant with everything. So this is a stop sign coming up. Let's see. So it kind of stopped, which is, I would have preferred it to stop before the stop sign, but it stopped. That was sketchy. I mean, it should have accelerated harder, but you guys can't see the car that was behind. I should have put on the rear camera.
Speed camera ahead.
That was a little sketchy. I would have liked the car to wait a little bit more, wait for a bigger gap. But it did get on and it did accelerate pretty hard. But one of the things I feel like should happen is, like, when it's time to accelerate like that, I feel like the car should override and put it in plaid mode and do that. Like, go into plaid mode. Oh, we're supposed to be getting off, so we're supposed to be over there. So let's see, it's getting over. It would have been nice to put it in the plaid. Like, it can switch to plaid mode in a split second, so if it wanted to. So it should be able to do that. And then, yeah, if it was taken off in plaid mode, 100%, it would have been so much more acceleration, so much torque, more torque. But in chill mode, it's not really nowhere near the same amount of acceleration. It's still fast. I mean, still gonna beat like maybe 80% of the cars on the road in chill mode, but you guys couldn't see that car was pretty close. The car had to, I feel like the car had to slow down. The car that was in that lane had to slow down, and technically shouldn't really have done that. But we're heading from Queens to the Bronx. So you guys, I mean, I've done a Bronx drive before, but you guys will be able to see. And see, this is what I've been struggling with lately with this car, is that why did it just switch lanes to the right lane and then get back over? Like, it's just quite annoying that it's been doing that lately. And it's like there's really no reason for it to get over. It's like, I get we're in hurry mode, and it's like it's trying to find any little, but it's not really calculating, right? That's where I think FSD in general can make leaps and bounds. I think that they're working on parts of FSD that it shouldn't, like, reasoning is great, right? It should be able to do better reasoning. But what I do feel is that I'm still smarter than this computer, right? I drive, I still am smarter than the computer, because it should make, like, the maneuvers that it makes, it's not as calculated as you would think, right? This car can see XYZ ahead, but it doesn't seem like sometimes it utilizes that when it comes down to lane changes. Because if it was utilizing that, it would have saw that, one, changing lanes, it should have made a calculation that changing lanes, that's not going to gain us anything, right? That car in the right lane was not moving fast enough for it to warrant a lane change and for us to benefit from it. So it should have calculated that and be like, nah, the way the traffic is flowing in that lane, no, we don't. We're gonna just stay where we're at. So I feel like that's where they should work more on. Whereas the car is calculating to make smarter decisions. The car should be smarter than me. I shouldn't be smarter than the car. Reasoning is great. Reasoning is great. Unless this guy's trying to get over to 19N, I don't understand why he's trying to get into this lane. He can stay where he's at. But the lane changing has seemed to, I don't know, it's taken a change, because the car, yeah, it would seem to be better. Like a week ago, it was better as in a sense of why it was changing lanes and things like that. It would only be changing lanes if, you know, the flow of the traffic was substantially better versus just switching the lane because one car goes by, and that one car, it just passes the car that we're in, the lane that we're in, but it slows down because, okay, we're supposed to be staying here too. It just slows down because there's already a car in front of it, you know? Sometimes people are just speeding to come to a stop. So because that car is coming by a little faster, get out of this lane, but that car is gonna stop. So now you just got out of that lane for nothing. So I feel like I am definitely still smarter than the car. Maybe I'm a supercomputer. Maybe they should put me in the new Teslas. AI, what is it? Hardware Rob. There you go. AI 6. I think my voice is better than the Gronk selections too, because then I could be in there and be like, turn mother. I said slow down. Stop. Chill, bro. That's what I think I'm gonna do. That make my own AI voice, do a bunch of prompts, and then put it out on the market. Who would want to drive with Rob as their voice? the voice of reason. Oh, well, we're about to hit some Bronx traffic. Maybe since I'm in the Bronx today, I'll stop at Blimpie's and get me a Blimpie sandwich. They don't make any more Blimpies. They don't have any other, like the Bronx in Long Island and then Jersey, the only places. There used to be a ton of Blimpies in New York, but now they are all closed down, except for like the very, very select few. But the Bronx is like one of the places that do have, I think, 3 or 4 locations. But yeah, I don't come to the Bronx too often, so maybe I'll get me a Blimpie sandwich today. One of the things I did figure out, or because I was wondering, like even in that hardware 3 versus hardware 4 video, I've noticed that sometimes when my car does get on the brakes, I was hearing like this, like that clanking noise, and I found out that it's my my pedals. So I took the original Tesla pedal covers off, and I put my own pedals on. They're from Halo Black, the company. It says pause game, and for the brake, and then for the gas, it's insert coin. But those pedals, they're like clip-ons. So I noticed that they're not as snug as the other ones, because the other ones, they were like a jacket on the pedal. These are like more of a clip, so they seem to have a little bit of play. Because I was actually going to take the car in the Tesla and be like, listen, why wouldn't this car get on brakes when it's in FSD? I would hear that noise, but when I'm regularly driving and I use the brakes, I don't hear it, and that's because my foot is on the pedal, so the pedal ain't moving. There's no play for it. But when FSD is putting the brakes on, there's movement in the pedal. So like, why would it switch to this lane, and then I bet you it's going to want to get back into that lane?
Exceeding the speed.
Because why would it get behind this big truck? Which I would love. See, look, now I bet you it's gonna. Well, it went over to the right, so no big deal. But it could have just stayed in the left lane, and it would have been fine. One of the things that I would like Tesla to implement in FSD is you should be able to have certain characteristics that you prefer and you don't want the car to do, right? Like, you should, let's see, now it's switching, which is a little bit annoying at times, right? Because it's traffic. I'm a big firm believer that changing lanes like that doesn't get you literally nowhere, right? It actually causes more traffic if you're cutting people off where they have to slow down. It's a trickle-down effect. So I actually don't like that. And like I said, it's been doing more of that lately, which, like, why is it trying to get over into that lane? There's no reason for you to get over into that lane right now. Nothing. That traffic is not even moving, right? I don't think we're getting off. Like, why? Oh, I know what it is. Oh, we are supposed to. We're not getting off, but the way, and this is what I was talking about before with the navigation. It's like sometimes you gotta get off. Like, the navigation will not tell you that it's an actual exit, but you're supposed to get off. And before you guys say anything, this is not a Tesla thing. This is just Google Maps, Waze. Sometimes they do not have the actual exit. Like, this is exit coming up, where exit 50, right? We're supposed to get off here. And it's not saying that in the it's not saying that in my GPS. It's just saying Bruckner Boulevard, but it should be saying exit Tiffany Street, exit 50. So there's times, and I've noticed this, like I said, it's not only Tesla Maps. This is Google Maps. This is all of them, and this guy's coming into my lane, so he's car got a little scared and I nudged it. But I noticed this with Google Maps because I've been driving for years, and that same exit has always never been labeled correctly. It's always been Bruckner. So I know now. That's why I was looking. I said, okay, maybe we're getting off, but it should have been labeled exit 50. Then I would have understood why the car was getting over to the right. It was trying to prepare to get off the highway, being that there was so much traffic. But back to what I was saying is that you should be able to implement certain characteristics, like stay away from trucks. If you wanted to stay away from trucks, avoid big trucks, or things like that. The car can recognize trucks. You can see when you're looking on those screens that it can recognize trucks and things like that. So it could be cool to be able to avoid trucks and things like that. As in a sense, don't stick behind it. The other day I was driving and this big truck had rocks and dirt and stuff in the bed, and they had the dirt and the rocks above the doors of the back of the truck. So every time it was hitting bumps, you saw rocks dropping off, and those rocks would leave dents in a person's car, right? So I hate being by trucks, because especially trucks that's carrying debris, garbage, rocks, gravel, any of that. All it takes is a couple of bumps sometimes, and those things can fall out. And if you're close to that truck, behind that truck, you're getting some dings and dents on your car. So it would be nice to have stuff like, stay away from large trucks, or don't change lanes at all. Like I want to stay in the left lane. If I want to be a left lane camper, let me be a left lane camper. But if I want to stay in the middle lane, I want to stay in the middle lane. Or you know what I'm saying? So that you don't have to deal with because there's no setting right now that warrants for you to not make any lanes changing. And we're in the Bronx, which is the Bronx, otherly known as the home of the BBL. So you're gonna see a lot of BBLs out here. Nothing but BBLs in the Bronx. You're gonna see abuelas with BBLs, which is crazy. There's probably a double parked car. Well, it was a formerly known double parked car. So the car's smart. He sees that. I don't know if he saw or if he just followed that Durango, but there was a double parked car that eventually started to move, so the car was eventually going to get over, but that car moved and the Durango saw it too, and he jumped in front and it started to take off. So that's definitely good, because I didn't have to do anything as well, which I was going to hit the blinker to cancel the left, signal so it doesn't go into that lane and just stay straight, but it did it. In that case, I guess that's where the reasoning would come in, because I think a hardware 4 car would have done that a little faster. It would have never, maybe not as fast, maybe I'm wrong, but that's where better reasoning would have come in to be like, okay, that car's moving, and instead of waiting a little bit longer, it would have been more straight on going. And because if we did get into that lane, we would have been stuck over there. So now we have to make a right. But yeah, the other thing I was saying is this road closed. It looks like this road might be closed. No, it's not. So let's see how this maneuvers. Flawless, and that's perfect. That is perfect. So once again, this is what I be talking about, where sometimes the car does things that, sometimes stuff like that, where like when this car has to squeeze, sometimes it's a little iffy where it doesn't want to squeeze or whatever may be the case. So it's not that it can't do it or it won't do it, but it will take its sweet time doing it. So this one just did it with no like hesitation, anything like that. So once again, now this truck, the car doesn't know what he's doing. So Is he moving forward? I don't know what the hell he's doing. I mean, heck, he's doing. But yeah, the car is just gonna see. So now he's putting his hazards on, and his hazards are put on. So let's see, the light is red, so the car doesn't need to move. So now the car is gonna say, okay, he is definitely standing still, and we're gonna go around him. So good job. I didn't know what that guy was doing, and the car definitely didn't know what that guy was doing, because he put his hazards on, he was going in reverse, he was going forward. Make up your mind. But this is the Bronx, and this is how this car is going to handle and take the Bronx, because like I've always said, the Bronx is one of the Manhattan, Brooklyn, Bronx, you know, downtown Brooklyn is one of the more difficult places to drive, because there's people, like we see, walking out of the street all the time. People double parked, cars double parked, people don't know what they're doing, you know. So this is definitely a stressful and more harder place to drive and maneuver. I hate driving. I mean, you'll hear it all the time. People from New York, or people that come to visit New York, they like Manhattan, but they hate to drive in Manhattan. That's why a lot of the times people will take the subway or the bus if they're, you know, going to Manhattan, you know, because they don't like to drive. That, and plus the parking is outrageously expensive. You know, sometimes parking garages, you're gonna be spending $50 just to park. So some people are like, screw that, I'm just taking the train. But the other thing is, it is not the easiest to, you know, drive and deal with the stress. You got so many yellow cabs in Manhattan, and in the Bronx you don't got nearly as much. You got more Uber and Lyft in the Bronx, but in Manhattan it's definitely yellow cab city, you know. So it's definitely, you know, a little bit harder to drive. So let's see, the car's doing well so far. Can't be mad at it right now. Only thing that I would say is that entrance onto the highway could have been a little bit better. I would have liked to get a little bit more space, a better gap to insert yourself onto the highway. Look, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's turning right, now he's not turning. So it looked like the camera overheated, which I don't get how it overheated. Kind of annoying, because it's only we're not even, it was 38 minutes. We're still got 12 minutes left. So in 20 something minutes, it overheated. So I might have to change the battery. And the thing is, the battery has still got a lot of juice in it. I'm not gonna lie, that's probably one of the main reasons I'm thinking about getting rid of this camera. I like it, but there's no reason that it should be overheating when I'm doing 4K 60 frames per second. It shouldn't be overheating in 20 something minutes. That's just, you know, bad. When I had the DJI that was able to do 4K 60 frames per second and be going for almost 2 hours. You know, I hear that the new GoPro Mission has better, you know, better time endurance and better heat management. So that I think they were having that issue with the GoPro Hero 13, so they may have addressed it. So I may look into buying. I like to raise my air suspension. So I might have to change the battery if this one overheats again, because there's 10 minutes left in this drive and it already overheated. So what I'm going to do is get prepared with a battery swap, so that we try to not have to. Oh, that one's only on 93%. So I have a battery ready just in case it does overheat again. We can swap it out, because the thing is that when this overheats, yeah, the camera is hot, but it's really the battery that is Like, because when I take the battery out, it sometimes almost basically like burns my hand. Like, it's ridiculously hot. So it's most of the heat is coming from the battery. And I wish you could just run I wish I could just plug my type C USB from the charger into it and just run it without the battery. But you can do it to an extent, but then it will eventually disconnect because it feels like it doesn't have a battery eventually. But I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is the Bronx where they're gonna open up. It's a hot day today, but inside of my car it's pretty chilly. I actually want to turn the AC off, but I keep it on to try to help keep this camera cool. But they have the fire hydrant open. Lord.
Front K-band.
I'm just looking over to the left, and the way this car is parked, like right on this guy's bumper, is bananas. That would send me through the roof if I came outside and you were parked, or somebody was parked on my bumper like that. Oh my God, are you really taking up a parking spot? That's crazy. I tell you, the Bronx, man, it's a different breed of people out here. How you gonna be sitting in a parking spot? Like they put lawn chairs and they're sitting in the parking spot. Somebody could park there. There's already not a lot of parking. How lucky is that person to have a driveway over here? Come on, Mr. Tesla, you should know better.
Front K-band.
Yeah, the battery's at 48%, so I don't understand why it overheated. I think it said it overheated. Surprised it didn't cut off already again, being that it overheated. A 300Z. I love those old GDM 300Zs. Motors and rules. Look at that guy's on a scooter in Texas. Like, but people be complaining about FSD, right? Like, that's to me bananas. You're on a scooter and you're texting on a scooter. Those things are already dangerous as they are, and you're texting on a scooter. So let's see, is FSD gonna take this? I am so surprised that FSD took that yellow light. I don't know if that update 2020 has done something, but we all saw what it did at that flashing yellow light. But even though, yeah, flashing yellow light is a little bit different, but my car is normally notoriously slammed on brakes for yellow lights like that. That it would have slammed on brakes because it's not going fast enough, but it would have slowed down. So we're actually only 3 minutes out. So I'm gonna let it pull up to the customer, but I'm probably, unless I see a parking spot, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna intervene and park, because I know that there's usually never any parking on this customer's block. I've been to this location a couple of times in the past, and it just the worst for parking. So it's literally 1, 2, 3 more intersections, and then I gotta make a left. But if I see any parking at that right after that last intersection before I make my left, I'm gonna interrupt and park. If not, I'm gonna let it go by, and it'll just slow down and probably pull over to the side by that customer's house, which they're in their building technically, and then I'll end the video and then look for parking. Sometimes looking for parking, could drive you nuts over here. But we driven from Queens to the BX, and we get to deal with a little bit of the craziness in the BX. Nothing too crazy today, but it just shows you how this car can handle situations, a little bit of road construction, people not knowing what they want, and boom, here I am gonna take the parking spot right here. So I'm gonna actually let it do and this car just definitely behind me. I'm gonna let auto park. And auto park complete. Let's see how that looks. Let's see. Looks pretty good. I think I could make it a little bit better. I think it's not 100% straight. There we go. Okay. So now that's perfect. So here you have it, people. That's my version of point to point. So did the auto park. Didn't do a perfect job. Car was a little slanted. I just fixed it up, but it's nothing too crazy. The car did 99.9% with the exception of me chiming in just now to fix the park. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if the update has anything. It's not. So the camera did actually heat up right before I was actually about to get off, but I just didn't want to leave you guys hanging like that. But like I said, I don't know if that update, I don't think it has anything to do it's with FSD. That's not an FSD update, but I wonder if when they do updates like that, if there is some little back end stuff that may affect FSD, because I've gotten 2 updates recently, and every time I noticed a little bit of a difference with FSD. Like now, like I said,
Memory.
for some reason the car just seems to want to constantly get in the right lane, and it's not only a left lane camping situation, it's even with regular streets. Like it just seems to get out of the left lane. Maybe it is just it's scared of left lanes now or something, but it just seems to want to get out of the left lane into the middle lane and then want to get back over to the left lane, which is kind of annoying at times. But like I said, there hasn't been an actual FSD update, so I would like to know, wonder how is it changing things like that, and there's no FSD update. So, but nonetheless, the car, I still have fun with it. Still did amazing job coming from Queens to the Bronx. I'll be back. So I'll see you guys next time. Like and subscribe, and chime off in the comments if you guys have things to say. I love it. As you guys see in my other videos, I do I interact with you guys. So other thing is, I'm thinking about some type of a giveaway. If you guys have ideas for different types of giveaways, let me know. Chime off in the comments. Thank you guys, and enjoy the rest of your day. Well, enjoy your weekend coming up as well.